Hey everybody, Anthony Dodge, Model Train Outsider, the American Outsider, back with sort of an epilogue, final wrap-up video of the whole Herbs collection series here. It's been a couple of weeks since the last box arrived and I got back from Getz over the UK. I was sick for a couple of weeks, as anybody who follows this channel knows. But I've had time to process it, being sick and not being able to do a lot of work. I had time to really just let it sink in, all the emotions, because it's a yin and a yang. There's a lot of positives to this. I am so excited to have many of these trains. I'm very excited to even have my original ICE3 back, which I traded to Herb for an ICE1 and some other stuff. But to have the first model train I ever bought back in my possession, I think I will not let it go again. I think it's for keeps this time. I think it's like a store that frames its first dollar. I should hang on to my first train I ever bought. That said, I finally came up with some ideas on how to work it. Now, I'm not going to go through and show everything because you saw the videos, you saw what I got. Everything except some of the little pieces and parts and accessories were displayed in the videos. I have some storage down here. I took a lot of the rolling stock passenger cars and I stored them with my other set, so I no longer have just Herb stuff separated. But what I did do is I built a little shrine or display for a lot of the locomotives and some of the special trains from Herb's collection. And I've got a video of that, and I will let you walk through and see what I built there. I've also been working on cleaning all the locomotives, which I have successfully done. Most of them really didn't need a lot of work at all. And out of I've lost count. It's close to 35 to 40 locomotives. About 35, counting the rolling trains like the ICE Experimental and the ICE Amtrak and so forth. 40 powered vehicles, and only one of them did not work upon arrival, and I kind of got it to show power, and then I killed it. But other than that, everything's in great shape. Just a little bit of TLC. Check them all on my various layouts to see if they all work, and again, they all do, so that's great. And I have been converting a few to digital. That's in a different video to come. So let's take a look at the little display I built for Herb. Again, it's not what he had up. He had all his trains splayed out in on several shelves in a room in his house. I didn't have that kind of room, but I still wanted to kind of honor his collection, and that's what we've done here. So why don't you take a look at that and come back. Okay, so 2 weeks in, I have built sort of a display here for most of Herb's stuff. I've shown these on live streams, but you'll get a close-up here. Up above, I've got my ICE Amtrak and the ICE double header kit back there, and some of these older electric locomotives that came in, and then a standard ICE2 set with extra restaurant car there. On the second shelf, I've got some of the diesel locomotives set up and some other things here. I hung the sign that would go in a wagon or train as well. So a lot of these diesels. This guy's about to get converted to AC this week. Or he is AC. He's going to get converted to digital. The certificate that goes with the ICE3 and the celebration pictures as well. On the next level, we've got the IC, or I shouldn't say that. I should say the ICE1 with the German flag, the ICE3 with the German flag. I just need to get a powered car for that, which is the restaurant car. The ICE experimental back here. Some of these special sites around Munich and Märklin cars. So the Lufthansa set in the back as well. Now this is 2-rail. And 2 of the cars are Lima. 1 of the cars is Märklin, so I can't run it on the 2-rail set. And then the steamers. And we've got sort of the steamers on display here. Except 2 of them are not here right now, which I'll show you in a little bit. And then this board restaurant car is going to get the German flag stickers as well to go with the IC1 here with the German flags. All these KLVMs. That gorgeous 241 there. And they all work. All of these work. Every single one of these locomotives works. The only one that does not work is this guy right here. This is the one that came, I don't want to say DOA, but I was working on it. It was dead when I put it on the track. I worked on it a bit, got the light working, and it felt like there was an attempt to move, and then I fried the motor. So that's the only one that's not active. But otherwise, every single locomotive here is in running shape. And then down on the bottom, the longer trains. That gorgeous Italian train in the background with that cool Italian locomotive there. And then an ICE3, my ICE3. Original ICE3, I should say. And that gorgeous Aero 1 train. Very popular. I've had people offering me money for this locomotive right here already. And nope, that's staying here. And then just some of these beautiful cars. So that was the passenger trains and locomotives all over the place. Now, much of this is DC. Except for obviously the Märklin stuff. This is DC. These 2 are DC. This is DC. Then this is obviously all AC. And then these are Märklin and AC as well. They've got the ski on them. But most of these steamers are DC, so that's a Märklin, that's AC. Unfortunately, it can't really be easily converted to digital. And then DC. And this is DC, and this is DC. 2-rail, in other words. Then all these KLVMs. I actually was going to make these digital and give them to my grandson, Kyan. Unfortunately, these 2, Märklin says you actually have to send them to Märklin to make them digital. They cannot be simply converted the way a lot of the other things can. So we'll have to see about that. Now, 2 of the steamers are over here because they're in the process of getting decoders. They actually both have their decoders in. This one, I'm trying to figure out a way to wire it because the actual smokestack and light are on the same, for lack of a better term, I'll say circuit. Which means that if you turn the lights on, the smokestack is automatically on, which you really don't want. But that's how it was designed in analog. So I'm going to set it up and figure out the best way to split it. This one has a gearage problem. I don't know if I did something with it because when I first test ran it, it was fine. Everything works on it, but one of these gears locks up. So it might be something got bent while I was messing with it, and I'll just have to straighten it out. But those 2 are now digital, and they're already in my Central Station 3. So that's all the locomotives and the long passenger trains. and some box cars. Now there's a lot more. I've got a lot of flatbed cars I've stored over here. Those rolling road cars and a couple other things are stored over here. Some IC2 IC1 passenger cars there that went with that 218. And otherwise, everything else has been now put into my storage areas here, except for the beer wagons. Although some have, for example, some of the beer wagons, or I shouldn't say beer wagons, the grocery train that I ran in a live stream, and some of the other cars are here. The newspaper ad cars, they're in this drawer now. As I showed in a previous video, the tankers. These tankers are all from Herb, as well as that one shell. The rest are my tankers. And then this is where we've stored the Orient Express cars. And then this is a mix of the Weinstrasse train and anything else that I have that is ocean blue and cream or beige. Just depends on who you talk to, what the official colors are. And this is a mix of couple from me, couple from Horst, and the rest from Herb. And then again, a mix of some of these DSG cars and other cars from Herb and Horst. So unfortunately, they're not separated. And a few more just different era German cars, some from Horst, some from Herb in here. And then here's all the flatbeds and gondolas and such I got from Herb. They're all put in here, along with a few spare containers. And so we have things in a lot of places. The beer cars are actually over in these drawers. So here's all those beer cars I got from Herb. And then the specialty beer cars are down here for now. I gotta arrange them a little better, but I laid them on their sides on purpose. The ones that could be laid on their sides, just because I don't want them rolling around and banging in there too much. I'll get more stuff in there, but I want to get some soft cloth layment down there or foam down there to protect them. So that is Herb's collection added to my own. All right, so there you have my little honor to Herb's collection. I hope you appreciated that. I know he does because I've talked to him about it. He was very thrilled to see it up on the wall, but he was more thrilled to see a lot of his stock rolling on my layout. He and Nancy told Joyce and that we had a nice little 2-hour video chat. So it's I think the strong emotions are subsiding, and that's not a bad thing. It's been very emotional. The decision to do it, the reason we did it, the reason it was offered to us, and then just the overwhelming amount of stuff that came in, but it's done. And I guess if there's one thing I want to end this on, it was something that occurred to me while I was kind of laying in bed sick one day with this. Is many of you know, in 2023, Joyce and I were in Germany. We went to a town called Bamberg, and we stayed in an apartment owned by a gentleman who owned the whole building we were in, named Horst. And Horst was a teacher, as I was. So we shared that bond and bonded over that. But then we really bonded very quickly when he found out I was into model trains in Maryland and had to show me what was left of his collection, because he no longer can run his trains. He doesn't have a place for it, and he had given a lot of his collection away, but his family really didn't want it. And he had these boxes, a couple of big boxes in his in a storage room in the cellar of his apartment building, a damp and kind of dank cellar. And it was going to rot. And he was excited to show it to me. I was excited to see it because I like that. I share that excitement. And if I had lived in Germany, I might have at that time bought his collection. But you could see how grateful he was that I did buy a few things from him and bring home. In fact, he didn't sell them to me. He said, take what I want. And if I felt I owed him money, leave him money, which I did. But couldn't take everything. And he had a lot of cool stuff. And he had a lot of things similar to Horst. Very similar age, very similar era and interest. The old classic German railways post-war. And it did get me thinking that there was such a similarity between Horst and Herb that I saw how much it meant to Horst to give a little bit away of a layout he had spent his life collecting, a collection. And it just hit me again with Herb, and I think my emotions with Horst definitely had a factor into my decision to buy Herb's collection, because just once you got to do something crazy. Just, I've done a lot of crazy things, but just once you got to do something like this where it makes no sense, but it does make sense on a other level. And so I'm very happy to now have Herb and Horst stuff joined together in some of this storage here. And the little shrine to Herb, I've added a couple of things from Horst as well up there. And it can be a memorial to both gentlemen. And I'm glad I did it. And I can't wait. You've already seen some of the things running. I've got new things to come in the next live stream, which should be after this video is up and out. So anyhow, on that note, I'm going to say, Auf Wiedersehen, tschüss, and take care. Happy trains, everybody.